Hey everyone, welcome back to Pearls of Eden. Thank you for joining me. And today we're going to hop into some current news. There's so much that I wanted to talk to you all about, but there is only like 24 hours in a day, right? Yesterday, you all heard about the Georgia high school shooting, and it just broke my heart. Those kind of stories hit so close to home because many of you know I teach, I've taught for many years. And being in the school system, that's one of the things that, and having children in the school system, it's like, oh, you dread to hear those stories and your heart just goes out to those families and all of the staff members in the district and the children that had to go through that experience. So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk a little bit about Kamala Harris and her upcoming debate request. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Miss Little Goldilocks has to have everything perfect, the temperature perfect, she has to have the right, everything. And in reality, it's like, you know what, Kamala, you're going to have to learn how to get tough. You're going to have to learn how to, debate him really, like you say, anywhere, anytime, any space, any place kind of thing. Without all of these demands, everything has to be just so right so that you can flourish. And that's just it's not realistic, is it? You've got to be able to know your stuff. You've got to be able to fight and fly with the best of them at any given second. You all know when you know your stuff, and you don't have to have note cards. You don't have to have a teleprompter. When you have experience with something, when you're truly good at something, you can just speak. You can just talk about it because you have the experience, you have the know-how, you have the confidence. But when you're not confident in what it is that you're sharing, you'll be fumbling around through notes. And I understand some people have to have notes to speak and everything, but I always think that it's kind of like, you really are not confident in knowing what you want to deliver. Because when you have something that you are so confident in, you could just speak from experience. You could speak, right? You could go on and on. Anyways, y'all get the point. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and whatever else comes to mind, okay? So let's take a look at this first clip of this young boy. Oh my goodness. I have a son that is just 13 and he's 14. So this just really broke my heart. But it also was just so encouraging to see his faith and his gratitude. So you all take a look at this student from the Georgia high school where there was the shooting. Take a look at his perspective.
It just keep replaying back in my head. I just thank God that I wasn't the one that got hit, like in the midst of all of it happening, I was just thanking God because, he had his hands around me and stuff like that. Because I could have been the one that got hit.
You're so young. You're how old?
14.
That's so much to have to process in class where you're supposed to feel safe.
Yeah.
My career over something that happened today, the pure evil that happened today.
Officials identifying the suspect as Colt Gray, a student at the school.
He will be charged with murder and he will be tried as an adult.
This student, Lila, told CNN the shooter was in her math class. She says he abruptly left the class and then tried to get back inside.
Wow, that's really interesting to hear. I didn't even know that they are building doors like that in the high schools or in schools in general where it automatically locks from the inside so you can't get out, you can't get in from the outside. I think that is such a wonderful measure, preventive measure, and I wish all schools would do that. I think that's so amazing because you don't have to waste time because every second counts in these, events. And it's already locked. And so, wow. And another thing I think is so great is having an SOR. For those of you who are not in the school systems, or maybe you don't have children and you don't know, these are like police officers that are within the school system. And so they're there for protection, on guard. And I think that probably saved a lot of time as well, having an SOR who was able to dispatch and get the calls. That's probably why they were able to get the police there so quickly. So shout out to the SORs, all right, because they do a tough job and no doubt put their life on the line to save these children and staff, right? So
They lock automatically, so you have to be let in to come back into our classroom. So I think he wanted to come to us first to shoot us class. He turns to the classroom to what would have been my right, and he just starts to shoot. And you hear like about 10 to 15 rounds back to back. He never really talked. He was pretty quiet. He wasn't there most times. Either he just didn't come to school or he just would skip class. But even when he would have talked, it was one-word answers or just short statements.
That's really interesting. And, you know, we don't know what the young man who did this shooting, what was his story? Was he bullied? Was he suffering from social anxiety? Was he on medication? Did he have some type of mental health issues? Obviously, there was something there, right? And I think that's the bigger discussion. You know, I know what's going to come up, gun laws and gun rights and all of these things, but as a teacher, I want you to understand, I see a lot, and one of the major factors is mental health. You all have to understand, a lot of times these kids are on a lot of psychiatric drugs for mental health, but what people don't talk about are the side effects of these drugs. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, but I do appreciate RFK for actually exposing a lot of these things that people just try to, you know, sweep under the carpet, big pharma, because it's affecting our children. We have to be so careful what we take, what we give our children, because there are some dangerous side effects. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it is the truth. So there's a lot to look into this story about this young man who was himself only 14 years old, who was the shooter, about his own mental health. I think that's the bigger story, the bigger issue, I should say, the bigger question. All right, let's get back to it.
Police say calls of an active shooter started coming in around 10:20 Wednesday morning.
What's happening to the high school?
I don't know.
Within minutes, they were on campus helping the school resource officers already at the scene in investigating the alleged shooter's house for evidence. Authorities identifying the victims as 14-year-old students Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, teachers Richard Aspinwall and Christina Eremy. Senior Fabian Williford was in class when he heard the first round of gunshots.
Sound like balloon popping, but like 10 times louder.
Sophomore Alexandra Romero filming this video from inside her classroom. Officers leading her class to safety.
Let's move with purpose, come on.
I saw like my math teacher, and he was all covered. I saw blood everywhere.
10th grade world history teacher Stephen Cramble protecting roughly 28 students when his class was notified they were on a hard lockdown.
There was a second of like, in my head, I just felt death like cross my mind. Where there was a moment where I'm like, I might die today.
11th grader Henry Vanderwalt frantically texting his mother. I think there's a school shooting. We heard gunshots and the police shouting. We're all in hard lockdown. Moments later texting, I love you. Gwendolyn Cook rushing to the football field where the students were safely gathering, looking alongside hundreds of other frantic parents.
It's just so sad when you think about it, because it's like nobody wants their children to experience that. None of the teachers and staff, they sign up for that, you know. They went in for a regular day of work and then they were exposed to a nightmare, and it's just heartbreaking. I can't even imagine being a parent, thinking about, all these parents coming in, driving in, wondering, is their child safe? Was their child the one that was targeted? And it's just heartbreaking. It makes you truly want to homeschool your kids. I mean, because it's just like with all the shenanigans that they're doing in the schools, they want to teach them all kinds of wicked things. Then you got to worry about somebody coming in, shooting up the school. You got to worry about bullying. There's so much that, homeschooling be looking real, real good, don't it, y'all? I mean, who's going to teach, who's going to love, who's going to nurture your children like you? And I know we can't be in a bubble, but in the day and times and the ages that we're living in, I don't know if I could do it all over again, honey. We'd probably be Little House on the Prairie. We'd probably be like, homeschooling. I mean, I'm serious. What do y'all think about that? All right, so Kamala is bringing up all of these rules because of the debate, and she wants to have things her way, because like I said, little Goldilocks has to have a perfect environment to thrive. So she wants those microphones on, she wants her notes, she doesn't want to have to stand, she wants to sit down, y'all. Yes, it's like, come on girl, you cannot have it your way. It is not Burger King. He is already like conceding. He's saying, hey, I'll do it at ABC. We all know that is like handing you the notes right there, because they're going to be more favorable to you, right? Hello. Even the CNN debate, he did it. That he's been just like so flexible, he's been so hospitable, and you just keep pushing the limits, ma'am. No. And then she's going to put that little tweet out where she says, you know, Donald Trump is just surrendering to his advisors instead of just, you know, hey, you could basically, you know, have your mic on. Why does she want to have these mic ons? I just want to know why. Anybody know why she just want to have this mic on so bad, right? Because we know Donald Trump likes to interrupt. Okay, he gonna interrupt. He gonna try to say a 2 cents. So this gonna shut all that down. Ain't gonna be no interrupting. But y'all know she let us say, but I'm speaking. And apparently she has all these T-shirts made, and so that's, you know, how she gonna sell them if the mic's off, right? Because she gotta have an opportunity to say, I am speaking. Can I get a word out? So it's just like, it's just the gaslighting for me, you all. The gaslighting is ridiculous, because she's saying that Donald Trump is scared to show up for a debate. Y'all saw the short, that he's scared to show up for a debate. But meanwhile, you're looking to get out of the debate. You come with all of these unnecessary, petty requests, and it's like, ma'am, you are, how can I say it? This is like you are being interviewed for the most prominent job position in the world. And the American people get to vote for you, ma'am. And you are coming into the job with all of these requests, but you have not even performed well on the job for the past 3 years. You really don't even deserve a promotion. But y'all done booted out Joe, and so, you know, y'all done broke some rules, and you done scammed your way into this nomination. And so, well, here you are. You're going to have to grow some thick skin, because you're going to be dealing with the likes of Putin. All right, speaking of Putin, you all, this is what he has to say about Ms. Kamala. It looks like she got an endorsement, you all. Take a look.
Put Ms. Harris, so that is what we are going to do. So it was, well, he said that we should, that is why we should also do that. Well, her laugh, she's laughing, her laugh is so fascinating. It means that everything is good, and if everything is good, it means that, for instance, if we're speaking about Joe Biden, there are so many sanctions against Russia introduced, and if everything is good with Ms. Harris, maybe she'll refrain herself from such measures, or maybe she'll change them. So in the end, it will be the choice of the U.S. people, and we will respect this choice.
Yeah, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in real big trouble if y'all elect this woman in. I'm just saying. This cannot be life, right? We going to have to do right, and we going to have to vote big, too big to rig, bringing in a landslide victory for Donald Trump, because this just can't be. That will be the end.com. All right, so she's saying that she will debate Donald Trump any place, any space, any time, but it's got to be met under the right conditions, you all. Let me just tell y'all. Do y'all really think Donald Trump is scared to debate Kamala? Come on. Y'all don't believe that? I know y'all don't believe that, but that's the type of gaslighting that we are up against, you all. That they will call good evil, evil good, left, right, up, down. Hello? That is my dog. Are you okay in there? Jeez. goodness gracious. I was like, he's choking on a hairball. What in the googly moo? All right, back to what I was saying. Do you really think that he is this man got shot in the ear and he was still out there campaigning? He was still out there doing rallies. He was still out there doing speaking engagements. Even last night when they were supposed to have the original debate that she counseled, he out here doing town hall lives. This, America, is what you want in a leader. Meanwhile, we can't even we're hard pressed to find Kamala to do an interview. It took her even 40 days to do the CNN. And what was that, right? And so I get confused about why in the world would people think that why would she, who has hyped her up in her own mind, to think that he would be scared to debate you? It's the opposite. She's scared to debate him. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Everything that they say is the opposite. They project what they are onto him, and they try to steal his energy. They try to steal all what he does, his accomplishments, all that he is, and they try to keep it for themselves. This is the game that they're playing.
Her campaign, when they said that they wanted to change the rules that they had agreed to, did they ask for notes? Did they ask for the...
They wanted notes.
They wanted to be seated, and they wanted your mic hot.
And they wanted a desk. They didn't want to do... I said, you got to do a stand-up.
After they already agreed to the other.
Yeah, but they wanted a desk from the beginning. You know who else wanted a desk? Sleepy Joe. He wanted it.
Congressman, I'm being rather facetious here, but why do you think she wanted notes? Why not a teleprompter?
Well, she wants notes because she can't remember the policy positions that she's talking about right now. Let's just be very clear. All the things that Kamala Harris is going out in the campaign trail and saying, why didn't she sponsor that when she was a member of the United States Senate? She's the #2 official in our government. How come she didn't have conversations with Joe Biden to get that stuff done right now? All these things are coming up because she wants to be president of the United States, not because she believes them, not because they're her core principles, her core ideas. So you need notes if you're trying to explain something that's really not in your mind for a long period of time, things you've already thought through and have.
No, Kamala, he is not scared to debate you, but you are very terrified to debate him. And it's going to be interesting. We will see. Will we have this debate on September the 10th? What do you all think? Is she going to try to... She can't be the one to fall out of the interview. What are they going to try to do to make this not happen? Are they going to let this... This is a train wreck. Y'all get your popcorn, get your Coke, because it's about to get interesting. All right, let's shift gears. Who is running the country? Has anybody seen Mr. Joe Biden? Because Kamala's busy worrying about how she is going to pass this test for the debate. She's trying to be debate ready. Who is running the country? Because inquiring minds want to know. Well, you all, that's all that I have for you. This is going to be a really interesting season. I say buckle up your seatbelts. We're going to continue to see some plot twists. We're going to continue to see some reversals. It's just going to be a very interesting season. This might be the most interesting election that we have ever had. This is going to go in the books, right? This historically is the most fascinating, most interesting, most intriguing election. I don't even care if you don't like politics. This is just good entertainment, you all. This is just like everybody around the world is like, this can't be life. This is not real, right? Like this. All right, guys. Until the next time. I love you to life. See you soon. Bye.